Okay, free agency grab bag time. Let's start with the Ravens. We've yet to see Luke Combs in a Ravens hatter jersey, and maybe he's not inclined to do that based upon what they've experienced in free agency. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerning are the departures of the Baltimore Ravens in free agency? Yes, they've added Derrick Henry. Gus Edwards is gone. Devin Duvernay is gone. Morgan Moses is gone. He's been traded to the Jets. Patrick Queen goes to the Steelers. Ronald Darby signs with the Jaguars. They probably won't be bringing back Odell Beckham Jr. Geno Stone, who was the interception leader at one point last year, is gone. Scale of 1 to 10, how concerning?
I'm 5. I don't think it's that concerning, right? I mean, I'm not looking at this list going, whoa, these are game changers. Patrick Queen was awesome last year, but that is, I would say, the only year of his career that he was awesome. That one hurts a little, definitely. But again, the rest of the crew here, I don't look at it and go, oh, man, no Ronald Darby. They're not going to be able to play the same defense anymore. No Gus Edwards. They won't be able to run up the middle with their 12,000 pounds of offensive linemen in front of them. So, no, again, these are players you like, certainly, but, Baltimore's got a lot of good players, a lot of good role players. They got depth, right? They got all of that. The Morgan Moses thing was big for the Jets, that's for sure. But the Ravens are pretty deep on the offensive line, and one of those teams, too, that knows how to develop offensive linemen, too. So you're always like, well, yeah, they got rid of him. He's older and up there in years. They got guys, and yeah, they got guys coming up the ranks here, and they always seem to kind of turn those guys into starters and players. So I'm not really all that concerned. They still got a real good O-line. They still got Lamar. They still got that tight end. They got 3 good receivers still. That defense is still legit. I think they'll be just fine.
I'm going to go 1.5. I think that they knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, right.
They make these plans.
Right.
They understand how it works. They're all about drafting and developing talent, getting maximum compensatory draft picks. Look, they understand and they know how to work the compensatory draft pick formula unlike any other team. And they know there are certain years where they're not going to add many and they're going to let a lot go. And that's going to help them when the time comes the next year to determine the compensatory draft picks. They understand that formula, like I said, better than anyone. So that's just how they do it. They know who's going to be back. They know who they're going to move on from. And they always have in mind who is going to be ready to step in. I remember last year when the season was approaching, like, oh, who on those is defense? Like, what's up with the Baltimore defense? Like, and then by the time they start playing the games, it's like, oh, that guy's pretty good. Oh, that guy's pretty good. Oh, this guy's getting it done. Oh, Mike McDonald's doing a great job. That's the way it's been under John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta, and before that, Ozzie Newsome. They have a great organization that always knows where they're going, what they're doing, and nothing happens that catches them by surprise, at least not very often. All right, true or false? The 49ers front seven looks better now than it did last week. Eric Armstead is gone. They've added a couple of guys in free agency, including Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos. They thought they were getting Eric Kendricks. We talked about that yesterday. The Cowboys came in and convinced him to say no thank you to the 49ers and sign there instead. True or false? Front seven looks better now than it did last week.
Gosh, I'm going to say false, but there's some nuance here. I mean, right now, I don't think they have a starting other defensive tackle right now, so I can't say true. It's better, right? I mean, by all due accounts, right now, it looks like, they need to find another guy to start next to Javon Hargrave. I don't think Jordan Elliott's that guy. I think Jordan Elliott's the part of the rotation. You'd like him to be your third D tackle, and he plays a lot. So that's where I'll say no. Now, we'll see. Eric Armstead, it's going to be interesting. And, I don't know what's going to go on there. They asked him to take the pay cut, right? I'm sure he's feeling the market out a little bit right now. Will he go back to the 49ers? We'll see. But they did improve the defensive end position. That's where I will say. Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos is better than, Chase Young and Clelin Ferrell. That's where I'll definitely say that as far as the defensive ends are concerned. But no, they're still got a spot there that needs to be addressed and they need to figure out.
Yeah, I
and they got Malik Collins yesterday too last night. Wait. So hold on.
Trade, yeah. Malik Collins in a trade.
Okay. True. I'll go with true for now then. I'll go with true. It's close. Okay.
True.
Sorry. I forgot about Malik Collins happening late last night. I'm sorry about that.
Somebody has texted me during the show that they have the story on what happened with Eric Kendricks and the 49ers and the Cowboys. I'll be interested to find out and verify that that's the case. But again, until a deal is signed, all's fair, especially when a guy was cut. The Chargers cut him. So he's free and clear. And nothing is done until the name is signed at the bottom of the contract. Until that happens, another team can swoop in. A guy who agrees in principle can say, I've changed my mind. That is fully and absolutely permitted under all circumstances. There's nothing wrong with it. It pisses the teams off, and it gets the teams pissed off at the agent. And the agent has to work with the team in the future. That's where it becomes a little dicey. Like, I can't trust your word anymore. You tell me your guy is coming here and he doesn't. It's something that needs to be repaired. But the Cowboys convinced Kendricks to reunite with Mike Zimmer, even though Kendricks was the one who said after Zimmer was fired, they had a fear-based mentality under Zimmer. I guess
Seriously.
I guess after being with the Chargers for a year, he realized maybe that's a better way to coach a football team. Which doesn't belong in why.
Oh, well, hold on. Let me
ahead.
say that allies are important, right? So he must feel that Zimmer's an ally. I think the other thing, too, with Kendricks, too, is maybe he looks at Dallas and goes, wait, I can be the starter there and start all year. And San Francisco, he's looking at it and goes, as soon as Dre Greenlaw gets healthy, I'm back on the bench, right? So I think that probably played a big part of it as well.
As we were saying yesterday, helps them bring Dre Greenlaw back because they can trust Eric Kendricks. But you're right, we get to the end of the season. It's time for the playoffs. Eric, take a seat.
Exactly.
All right, which doesn't belong and why? Backup quarterbacks who signed for under $10 million. Joe Flacco with the Colts, Jameis Winston with the Browns, Drew Lock with the Giants. Which doesn't belong and why?
Wow. I'm going to say Drew Lock, right? I mean, again, I'm a fan of all these guys being backups, right? I guess I'll go with Drew Lock a little bit more just because he doesn't quite have the playing experience the other guys do here, right? That I think is what I'll lean on as far as why, it's a game here, a game there that's been good or whatever, but there's never been a consistent like, oh, wow, yeah, he can – if our guy goes down, he can definitely take over and be that guy. Jameis, I know, has been a little bit all over the place, through his career, but Jameis is strung together game after game to where I've gone, that's pretty good. That's pretty. And we know Joe as well. He's a proven commodity. So that's where I'll just say Drew's still got maybe a little more proving to do in that department compared to the other two.
I'm saying Drew for a different reason.
Okay.
I think Drew Lock, of the three, is in a position where he can supplant the starter. If they truly are at the point where they're exasperated with Daniel Jones, Rich Eisen was saying, based upon things he heard at the Combine, he's out. They're out on Daniel Jones. Drew Lock has a chance to go in there and kick Daniel Jones to the bench. If he competes like he has, if he plays like he did when he had that great performance last year for the Seahawks when he was playing in place of Geno Smith, he's got a chance to earn the job. There's no way Jameis Winston is knocking out Deshaun Watson. There's no way Joe Flacco is knocking out Anthony Richardson. Now they might play because those guys are injured. Drew Lock's the guy who's got the best chance to play based on merit, Chris.
Yeah, well, listen, I hear you there. And OTAs, right? I mean, I don't know how Daniel Jones will be ready to take snaps and do that. So Drew's going to get some good snaps. Drew Lock has starting quarterback caliber traits. There's no doubt about that, right? I still think Daniel Jones has got a backing in that organization, but yeah, I think your point. Yeah, you're right about that. If there was one that could maybe be a quarterback battle, that would be it.
I'll be watching for the reports citing unnamed sources that the Giants really like what they see in Drew Lock. That'll be the starting of the dominoes possibly toward Daniel Jones falling off and Drew Lock falling in. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.